welcome back to another video. John Bodine here with Redemptopsych, and today we're going to take a look at Tom Hardy and look at his personality type. I picked out some clips that I haven't seen that I'll be looking at and reacting to in real time. Also, if you haven't joined my Telegram group, I'd love to have you there. We have about 40 people now who are chatting and connecting. If you're interested in that, you can follow the QR code above or the link in the description. So we'll jump in here to the first video. Tom Hardy is obviously an actor, very gifted, very talented actor. I think he's very underrated. I think his performances in particularly The Revenant I thought was one of his best ones. So we'll jump in here with the first video and see what we find.
You know, Tom, I like to think some of those whistles were for you as well.
So would I.
I'm very excited you're on the show. Genuinely, I'm very excited.
I'm sorry, but how good was that? Al Green.
Unbelievable.
That was incredible. I've listened to that song so many times, and then to see it live was incredible.
Real quick, it's an initiating thing. It's not that often you'll see that on a talk show where immediately someone initiates and takes control of making a point. They usually do that later after they get comfortable, if they do it at all.
You enjoying the World Cup? Are you watching the football? Are you a football fan?
No,
Oh.
no.
Well, see, I'm not a big fan, but I'm getting into it. I'm enjoying it. Who would you like to see win?
England.
Yeah, of course you would.
Of course.
What about the vuvuzelas? Have you heard those been played?
No, I heard one tonight for the first time.
You haven't heard it before, so you haven't been watching any of the matches? Have a listen. That's quite... How annoying is that?
That's good. It's all right, I can handle it.
Would you like to see another vuvuzela destroyed, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah. We've got the guy out the back there. Have a look at this. He doesn't want to die. That's not going anywhere now. I think that's still functioning. That would still work. OK. Where are you from, Tom? Where's your accent? Because your accent's quite hard to place, I find.
It is. I'm from a state of grace called Mortlake in suburbia, East Sheen, SW14.
So it's kind of South London, but
not really sort of cool South London.
So it's a posher part of South London?
Yeah.
OK. But you've got a London accent, but it doesn't sound South and sound East.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a mongrel actually, because I'll pick up accents and sometimes I don't know how I'm going to sound until I start speaking.
Well, that must be a very good thing, I would have thought, for an actor to be able to pick up accents. But you do this deliberately, I guess, or is it?
I don't know if I did it deliberately. Just like by osmosis, I'll change my accent.
Do you do? So when you play a part like Bronson, for example, I don't know if you've seen Tom in Bronson, 'cause it was a low-budget movie. It was a pretty small-scale movie in some ways, wasn't it? But an incredible piece of work, and I thought. It looked brilliant, but you were tremendous in it. What a performance and what a role to have. His accent. You met the guy? You tried to do his voice the way he speaks, or was this just your version of him, your idea of what he should sound like?
Funny enough, actually, it was how I imagined he would sound when I first read the film.
It is a strange accent. How would you describe that accent? Where's it?
It just reminded me of a strongman at the fair, you know, the old school...
It's like vaudevillian almost. It's a performance kind of thing.
Totally.
Come on up, ladies and gentlemen. It's not quite the
but it's got a slight Luton twang on it as well.
A Luton twang?
Whatever that is,
okay, yeah, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Charles Bronson, the man who you play in the film, isn't Charles Bronson, the movie actor, of course. He is a fairly violent... convicted criminal who adopted that name himself. You're like the go-to guy for...
Nutters.
Yeah. You do seem to be able to tap into that kind of odd, kind of calm, followed by unpredictable violence. Rather distressingly easy, I think. I mean, is this something this is just something you're comfortable around or with, or...?
Yes.
But you're not yourself a violent man, I'm sure.
No, but I think what's interesting is that I know what frightens me, you know, and also I have a compassion for certain an understanding of certain erratic and unpredictable behaviour that doesn't always manifest itself in violence, you know. But as an artist as well, I think it does with, you know, within the creative arts you can create things or you can destroy things, can't you? And passion creates and destroys. So I get that. My head's a bit of a dangerous country, you know, and I shouldn't really go in there without an appropriate adult. So I understand.
So you're inside, it's a bit...
Okay. Passion creates and destroys. That's like the only sort of abstract thing he said. Everything else has been concrete to the point. He is extremely direct. This is probably, this is most likely an STP, which is what he's thought of. So very direct, very to the point. Doesn't seem to feel the need to add in a bunch of context. He'll share a little extra here and there, particularly when he's talking about this other guy. But other than that, it's straight to the point. He also has this kind of in-charge energy. Now, this is tricky when we have direct types. The in-charge types, sometimes they don't say a lot, and that can be difficult to type them as like extroverts or introverts. But he has this kind of control to him. It's sort of subtle. He doesn't seem real dictatorial, but he has his own like control within himself. So very direct, very concrete. Seems TI so far. So we'll keep going a little bit here.
It's like a cartoon in there. It's a bit like a lot of noises and things falling off cliffs and stuff like that, is it?
At times, yeah.
Yeah. And so how do you keep yourself calm? How do you control the turmoil within?
Knitting.
You're a knitter?
No.
No. But you say this in jest, but I'm thinking of taking up knitting. Have you
Actually, no, I was
seriously
thinking about that because a lot of people do that on film sets. They knit.
Would you start with knitting, do you think, or crocheting? What do you think you'd start with?
I don't know where to begin. You see, at the beginning, I'd have to learn whatever the first thing was.
We could get a teacher.
We could.
We could make it a project for the summer.
Do it.
What would you like to knit first?
A hat.
No, it's too boring.
Gloves.
No.
A cat.
Possibly illegal.
Sorry?
A vuvuzela.
Okay. More direct, more to the point. Seems pretty pragmatic also so far. We don't see any evidence for affiliative. Being real to the point and just saying what you think and leaving it at that, that does tilt towards pragmatism. So we'll stop that one there. So far looking like an STP. If he was like an SFP, it'd probably be a little more, there'd be more context feeling. Both of them are informative. There'd be a little more narrative shaping. He's just saying what he thinks and leaving it at that. So let's go to the next one. Actually, we'll watch a couple shorts and then finish up with another interview.
You guys just raised the bar for being cool as hell in a film. What's your advice for being this level of cool?
Oh, wow. I'm so deeply boring. And I'm proud to be that. You've got to be this level of pedestrian. This level of pathetic. And try to invert it at all times. If you possibly can before going down.
Comes back around.
In a flame of deeply, deeply boring.
Okay, some self. Sort of desecrating himself there. Okay, let's go to the next one.
How did Tom Hardy do the Bane voice?
I found a character, a man called Bartley Gorman, who's a Romany gypsy. And the king of the gypsies, in inverted commas, and a bare knuckle fighter and a boxer. And he said, when I get into a ring with a man, and all he wants to wipe me off the face of the earth, and all he wants to kill me. And I was like, oh, this is great. And then I showed Chris, I said, Chris, we can either go down a sort of arch Darth Vader kind of route, and, straight, just neutral toned villain voice. Or we could try this, and this I've been thinking of just in case we've got to consider the roots and origins of the Bane, but we could get laughed out of the park with it. It might be something that we regret. but it's your choice ultimately. And he goes, no, I think we'll go with it. And that was that. And
Wow.
we played with it and made it a bit more florid, and now people laugh at it.
Mostly concrete. There are a little bit of, you could argue, some abstraction talking about the consequences of it. He's not saying he necessarily knows what the consequences are. Able to go through, okay, more concrete. He's introvert sensing a little bit, going through his journey of it, his memory of it, but it's mostly externalization, talking about the other person he learned it from, talking to Chris and what he communicated with Nolan, and then it was mostly externalization. That was one of the things I wanted to mention in the first interview with that British guy. I forgot exactly what the moment was, but he's asking him to be kind of vulnerable, and he's just like deflecting it. SI users are much more likely to embrace that and kind of share a bit. He seemed to have no interest in that. So looking more and more like an STP. So let's look at one more here. I think this guy's an ESTP, probably. Yeah, I think he's an ESTP. I think he's an in-charge type who's more subdued, at least in these talks. He seems like to not enjoy these at all. STPs don't like faking it, really. The extrovert intuition types are much better at dealing with, typically dealing with talk shows and the whole paparazzi thing. So let's look at a couple minutes of this, and then we'll wrap it up.
When's the last time you cried in a movie?
Oh, I use Tear Stick. You know, it's a lot easier to control.
Watching a movie.
Oh, watching a movie. Oh, okay. I gave away one of my secrets.
I am with Tom Hardy, who I'm really upset with because now I have to share him with the world. But he has his film here called The Drop at Toronto, which was an amazing movie. I loved it. It also made me really sad not to have James Gandolfini around anymore.
The best part about working with Jimmy is he has a standard which is very high. And he has the ability to match that, and also he digs very, very deep, and he insists on what he insisted on meeting that on that standard. But he's just funny, and he's had a wicked sense of humor, and truly, yeah. So I take that with me, you know.
I take that with me. I'd say that's an extrovert sensing quote. I've said that to people before. I take you with me. Interesting. More concrete, more extrovert sensing. You see how he's externalizing the memory? He'll mention a couple things about his own experience, but it's mostly about them, about this person, about what they did, what I got from them, how they were. That's extrovert sensing. S-E, 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 S-S-E.
That I had the privilege of working with him.
What about the Rocco, the dog? How was that acting with an animal?
Oh, it was great. It was just a puppy, so it wasn't, and you know, it was so small that it hadn't actually developed a personality past, you know, just basically trying to walk or stand up, so it wasn't trouble. It just wanted to stick by. And they let me take him home sometimes, which is cool too.
You never do another superhero movie?
I don't know, it depends if if one comes in. I haven't been offered one.
Okay, very pragmatic. Depends if one comes in. Concrete. He's not entertaining. Doesn't seem to be entertaining the possibility of it. I'm like, oh, you know, I hope this thing happens or this or that. Just like, no, it hasn't come in, but I'll think about it if it does. Concrete, to the point, direct, more TI.
Do you watch them?
No.
No.
I do watch some, but I'm more into things like Come Dine With Me and reality TV shows. I watch it for characters, and I steal everything. And as you know, I don't have to pay any rights for that.
Right. What else are you up to?
I'm off to do The Revenant now with Leo and Alejandro in Calgary for 7 months. It's about fur trapping and yeah, it's exciting. It's like a lot of fur, a lot of cold, a lot of bears and wolves. And
You growing that beard?
I am. I'm trying. I've got 3 weeks to grow it as long as possible. I know that's not gonna.
I don't know, because a picture of Leo,
He's got a really big beard, right?
and I know you're competitive, so
Yeah, it's all right. It'll be all right.
that's all right.
Yeah, I have a lesser beard. That's fine. I know my place.
Yeah, just as long as you have a little bit of one.
Small beard. And I cried during the Titanic as well. I thought I would avoid that movie for a long time, and then I ended up watching it, you know, and it got me.
You gonna tell Leo that you
No,
cried?
I'd never tell him. Obviously, he's never gonna find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cried. You could. There was enough room on that door, right? For the two of them.
Yeah, there was.
You know, really, realistically, it's kind of off.
Right, but then I know
If she'd have loved him, she'd have moved over.
That example there when he's talking about watching reality TV and all this, and I take everything, I take all these characters, and I don't have to pay any rights. That's more pragmatism. It's also an extroverted sensing process. Now, sure, an SI, any user might use that as a reference point, but he's talking about the absorption, the direct absorption of behaviors and things that he sees other people doing. That's more of an extroverted sensing way of getting into a performance. So yeah, guys, I think let's see. Yeah, I think Tom Hardy is an ESTP, which a lot of people think he is, or one of the STPs. I think he's a control type. I don't think he's progression. One way to discern it, it can be tricky, but ISTPs, they may not say a lot if they're like anxious, or the social element is making them uncertain. ESTPs are much less socially anxious, and they just kind of go for it. And what I'm trying to say is that both of them may not say a lot, but the ESTP is not saying a lot because they're uncomfortable. That might be the ISTP's social anxiety. The ESTP is just more in control of themselves within the situation. But we've seen a lot of pragmatism, a lot of concrete, TI just sharing his thoughts, a lot of extroverted sensing, right? Talking about other people's experience, talking about the reference points. He does share some of his own past, that's some SI, but it's primarily externalized. Very direct, very to the point, very concrete. So I used to think, I did believe Tom Hardy was an ESTP. I wanted to verify. I used to think in years past that he was developed into his nemesis and critic, into his SI nemesis and TE critic. I don't think so, actually. I think he's developed the other way. I think he's developed into his NI inferior and FE child, which exactly how that manifests could be a few different things, but that's why I see Tom Hardy as an ESTP developed into his NI FE. This is what a true ESTP looks like. A lot of people have been typing and will type. People think are ESTPs or ISTPs, but are not. This guy is truly an ESTP, I believe. So hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.